Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome aboard and thanks for logging on. Today we are discussing a watch from Zenith new for 2023. This is the Zenith Pilot Automatic. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below for purchase and pricing details of this watch. This is a new timepiece from a collection that's been not abandoned, but perhaps soft-pedaled by Zenith for a few years. We saw a wholesale launch of the Pilot line back in 2012 at Basel World, and in recent years, the Pilot line has largely languished while Zenith concentrated on building out the Dayfi collection and the Chronomaster series. Well, the time has come to reimagine the Pilots, so this is the first of the new line, a timepiece that can be considered a competent all-arounder, a dress watch, a sports watch, perhaps your only watch, and a fantastic blend of past and present. In stainless steel, it's 40 millimeters in diameter, 13.2 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 49.6 millimeters, and 20 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. You can see on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it's full-sized but not oversized. Because it is almost 50 millimeters lug to lug, I'm going to recommend it for a wrist that's 15 centimeters circumference or larger. And again, my wrist is 16. It's flat enough with a sloped bezel that it will fit underneath the dress cuff. You just need to make sure that if your wrist is small, you don't have lug overlap beyond the wrist. This is getting there. It's not there yet, but 15 centimeters is going to be the practical lower limit here. The watch comes on this lovely Codura effect textile strap in olive green, a military tone that's subdued enough to wear formally. You can see it has a monotone stitch, folded edge. It's actually quite well bolstered to give it some volume. And then there's a rubber inlay on the bottom to separate the sweat, heat, moisture, and grit of the wrist from the material for long-wearing durability. The watch also comes with a brown calfskin leather strap, and you can swap easily between them because there's a push-button release system. What I really like here is that Zenith has jumped on the trend of making quick release systems integral to the strap and not the case. Let me explain. Many watches, historically from the likes of Cartier, IWC, Hublot, and others, have had quick release straps or bracelets, but a proprietary junction system, so you couldn't use any kind of conventional strap that fit the lug width. When you're locked into a proprietary system, you have fewer options, not more. Here, you can still put any 20 millimeter strap in these lugs. Go full custom if you want, because the quick release is on the strap, not the lugs. Once you remove the strap, it's just a standard spring bar, so I love that. And again, you do get a brown calfskin strap that comes with this if you want to switch it up. We have a twin trigger release, double folding clasp. Internally, you can see that it features ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps right there, that little ceramic pin snap, helping to maintain the tight tolerances over time, as the folding component can't wear down a ceramic pin snap, so I always like to see that. We have twin trigger release. You have to press the triggers, both of them, to release this, so it's going to stay on your wrist if you're an active lifestyle type who's going to be running around waving your wrists wildly. We have a combination of polish and satin on the buckle, which is quite attractive, so attention to detail there. Moving to the case, it's simple. The lugs come to an unexpectedly delicate tapered point. For a sports watch, that's a mark of elegance I would not have anticipated. Mid-case is longitudinal satination. The lugs are blended in. We have lug hoods in satin. There's a bevel that runs end to end while thinning out at the mid-case. You can see that the bezel has been inset somewhat from the case band to visually thin the watch. And then we have a combination of polish and media blasting on the crown. It is a push-down crown, but the watch is 100 meters water resistant. On the top of the bezel, where it flattens out, we have vertical satination or a brushed finish, and a dramatically boxed and cambered sapphire designed to look like a vintage plexi. The dial has a ribbed pattern and a matte finish. It runs from side to side. It's designed to resist glare. You can see that the minute hand gets white varnish along with the seconds hand to make it prominent and easy to read. We also get white varnish on the hour hand, but like, for example, the Rolex Explorer 2, the hands are blackened over the center to create an ethereal floating impression. All of the numerals are applied and polished, giving this an upscale look, while the history of Zenith Pilot watches dating back to the early 20th century is well embodied here. The look, the fit, finish, and the material, and features like the applique numerals, those are very modern, contemporary, and they give you the sense that you received that for which you paid. This doesn't feel like a vintage watch except in ambiance. We have a little date window, and in good taste, Zenith made the date disc the same color as the dial. We have a hacking or stop seconds function, instantaneous date change, which is always nice, not a dragging date change, And then we have a quick set system so you can rapidly reset and correct if you wish. Flip it all over, and you may have expected a Zenith Elite, but this is actually a Zenith El Primero. First thing you'll note is that this is a 100-meter water-resistant watch confirmed on the case back. Remember that Zenith includes caliber numbers and caliber references in their reference numbers. So right there, 3620 is the caliber, and that's an El Primero, not Elite. What does that mean? Well, practically speaking, it has more power reserve at 60 hours instead of 50, and a higher beat rate, making for potentially greater accuracy. So this is 36,000 vibrations per hour, unlike the 28,800 vibrations per hour of the Elite. As we move inboard, you can see that the rotor is designed to look like the artificial horizon in an aircraft cockpit, and that's a cool little flourish and an easy thing to miss. But in good taste, they evacuated it, so when it's skeletonized, you can see the escapement, you can see the winding system, you get a better view of the movement. 60-hour automatic winding, 5 hertz beat rate, and we also have an unlubricated full silicon escapement. You can actually see that the spokes of the escape wheel are the Zenith Star logo. It's all finished in an austere tool watch sort of aesthetic, grayscale with only a few colors, the iridescent, the silicon parts, blued screws, and then the violet pivot jewels. But it's a handsome and reliable caliber that builds on the heritage of the El Primero dating back to 1969. We still haven't seen a lot of time-only El Primeros, so watches like this remain fairly rare, and of course it all pivots on 27 jewels. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And if you're wondering about that loom, rest assured there is plenty of it, and in good taste, Zenith looms all 3 hands. Other brands, take note.